The hypocrites, there was no such thing as hypocrisy, by the way, in Mecca. Why? Because in Mecca, most people were not believers clearly, or they were believers clearly, because there was no benefits that you get out of being a believer, right? Either you are a believer or you're not a believer. If you're not a believer, there's a lot of benefits you're going to get in society. If you are a believer, it's going to come at a cost. So nobody wants to hide their disbelief and express outwardly belief, because that's going to come at a cost, and that's going to have, a lot of severe consequences that come with it as well. So nobody wanted to be a hypocrite. Hypocrisy began after the Prophet ﷺ moved to Medina, and most specifically after the Battle of Badr. This is where people started to show signs of hypocrisy, where some people, they realized that now the sun of Islam is beginning to shine. Now the reign of Islam is starting. So now there's a lot of benefits. There's lucrative business deals perhaps that we'll get because of being Muslims. There are consequences for not being Muslims. Perhaps there's physical and maybe even financial consequences like taxes or other things. So people started to come into Islam at this point because there were benefits attached to being Muslim. Before that, there was no hypocrisy. Now, because of that, even within Muslim societies, which are largely ruled by people who give patronage to practicing Muslims, you'll see that everybody's behaving like a good Muslim. As soon as that stops, some people start to come out of the closet, and they're like, right? Hijabs begin to come off. And that's happening right now in many parts of the world. Just today, right before this particular class, I visited a brother, and he said exactly that. He said that in our country now, hijabs are beginning to come off from sisters who are friends of my wife from when they used to be younger, in their days of school. Or also my friends and their wives, they're taking their hijabs off because there was no conviction in the hijab. There was no conviction in faith. It was just a culture. It's just a matter of, this is how things are done here. This is how we're going to do it over here. So that basically treats people into hypocrisy, because there's privilege that practicing Muslims get. When you don't have those same privileges anymore, what's the point of being outwardly Muslim now? Because there are no privileges. In fact, privileged people now in society are the opposite. So this is what happened in Medina, but the other way around. When privileges started to come to people who were practicing Muslims, who were Sahaba, some people, they came into faith, and that's where the story of hypocrisy began.